yo, mathematics is really the language of God. And when you understand how math works, then you understand like the universe. And like, especially if you combine it with like, you know, your senses in the spirit, you start to see like, yo, like mathematics is really spiritual. And the better understanding that I have of math, the better individual that I'll become. Like, you know, in every sense of the word, you know? Like literally you can manifest things into the physical because you have this like overwhelming understanding of mathematics and how mathematics work. Like you can calculate the area of a space like utilizing mathematics, like in real life. Like, you know, like in math, like especially like when you're going over limits and stuff, like it literally talks about like when x approaches infinity. And it's like, what does that even mean? Like when x approaches infinity, like how can you even illustrate that? Well, it's just, you know, let's say for example, like we have this equation and we're plugging in x variable, right? It's like we can plug in every x variable like all the way up until infinity. And like depending on like, you know, the variable that we get, we might get to a point where we reach like this asymptotic value where it's just like flatline, you know. It's like it may be growing, then we get to a certain variable, then it just starts to flatline. And we just get ever so close to this small, you know, this asymptotic number, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, think about that in terms of the universe, like, you know, like if you think about it, the universe is just an expression of the infinite. And we're here on this planet interacting with like the creation. And there's an infinite amount of possibilities, you know, in this creation. And there's an infinite amount of possibilities in the universe. So in a big way, like the universe, like a lot of people think it's finite, but it's really infinite. And it's like continuously expanding. You know, that's why on the planet there's always more people like, you know, being birthed than people dying. And like the numbers are continuously growing, you know, unless there's human intervention, you know. That's why like, you know, they talk about like, you know, science and like evolution and like these things. And like as a believer, like I believe like evolution proves like the existence of God, you know, because at the end of the day, whether it was 6,000 years or 1,000,000 years, you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that like there's an infinite amount of possibilities in general. Why isn't there just one possibility? Like there's an infinite number of possibilities. Like I could be born a certain way, but then through my life, I can like basically break into, you know, a bunch of different possibilities. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I could be born blind and then I can get my vision and I could like be able to see again. Like, you know, and the way that I got there could have been through like some off way, like a way that doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? I could have perfect vision, lose my vision, and then get it back. People say these things are impossible, but with God, nothing is impossible, bro. Like, God is literally the definition of, like, limit as x approaches infinity, you know? And so, when you start to understand, like, the universe is infinite and that God is also infinite, like, you start to realize, like, anything is possible. And the most important thing is for me to continuously seek God and establish that connection. Because through establishing the connection with the divine will coach me. It will tell me like, yo, go this way, don't go this way. Talk to this person, don't talk to them. Like, do this, like, you know, do this, whatever, you know. And it's like, yeah, bro. But people don't understand, like I said before, the universe is mathematically infinite, you know? But at the end of the day, if we understand mathematics is only like our language, like expressing God's language, Like, it's like English, right? You have English, but like, then you have Spanish. But it's like they translate, like, completely over to one another, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, same thing with math, It's like math, we created these variables and we created, these like equations and we created these numbers and this system that we go by as humans. It's a man-made system, right? But the man-made system actually reflects a physical phenomenon, like a universal phenomenon. And like these are universal laws that like no matter what, like the universe will abide by certain laws. You know what I'm saying? And like that's the nature of like this universe. And so by understanding mathematics, like we can better understand the universe and the world around us and God and God's nature. And so honestly, anybody out there, I would encourage you, like, spend time learning mathematics. Like, sit down with math. Like, find a good math tutor. Like, understand calculus, understand differential equations, understand physics at a high level. And if you can understand these things, I'm telling you, like, it's gonna only increase your connection with God. And then, like, you're gonna get to the point where you could really manifest anything into the physical. Like, seriously. And like people think it's a game, bro. It's not a game, bro. Like you don't just learn math just so that you could sit behind somebody's desk and like crunch numbers for them, bro. Like, or just so you can get a high-paying job. Like that's not what you learn math for, bro. Like you learn math so that you can utilize math to create massive things, bro. On like the biggest scale, like that building behind me, bro. What do you think that building behind me was made using? Math. Whoever built it, they had to use math or else that building would not be there. The pyramids, what you think the pyramids was built by? Math. So that's all I have to say, but in a big way, I want to say thank you to everyone that's watching my videos, and I hope that my videos help you, and I hope that it brings a different perspective, to the space. And if you like watching my video and stuff, just make sure you guys drop a like, drop a comment, make sure you guys subscribe. Check out my Instagram, check out my YouTube, which we're on YouTube, check out my TikTok, check out everything, check out my Kick. We streaming all types of content, motivational content, life content, advice, football, day in the life of a D1 quarterback, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys stay in tune, and until next time, MMJR out.